Welcome everyone. Hello. Hope you're all doing well this morning. I know, it's weird. I'm wearing business attire. Um, yes, I have a meeting this morning with my boss's boss. It's not like for me one-on-one, it's a group thing. We're doing an event, but every time my boss has seen me in a call, I have been wearing a tank top. Because I keep forgetting the days I have calls with him. Which aren't very often, but just in case. Um, yeah, so today we had a pretty good day at the gym. Arm day, did pretty well on shoulders, got my heaviest shoulder press with dumbbells got up to 35 pounds, 40 pounds, something like that. Yeah, 35, yeah. Definitely think I could have done a little more. But I think it's because I was conserving too much and trying to focus on the next workout, and you shouldn't do that, but whatever. And then on top of that, but just generally had a good day. I didn't run today because, again, we're still waiting to heal up, letting everything kind of calm down. So, we're going to do that, and then, just go from there. But, so today on my agenda, I have a little bit of work to do today. I've got to get some time sheets uploaded and some contracts moved around. So that's one of the things that I'll be working on. And then tonight, since we don't have actually any D&D, because Cook, who plays Vasul for the Enders campaign, he is out of town currently. He's on vacation. I think he's sailing in like southern Florida or something like that, from what I remember him telling us. So he's off chilling, which is fine. He said he's going to hang out and chill with us, but he can't be in D&D because it's too late, and he shares a room with someone, which is understandable. I think as a DM, that's important to understand what your players are up to. So we're going to be playing like some Civ 6 or something like that. We'll see. As far as it goes, like with the topic of today, I don't know what the topic was. I don't know I had one. Didn't get any questions. Did some work last night on the Minecraft server. Did the floor levels for Wolfsbase, for his small tower, and then did some mining, and then finished up the gate entrance to the Star Fortress Stronghold, which I'll be showing off probably tomorrow on stream. So look forward to that. 3 days left of work for the year, which I'm excited about. So I'm off as of Wednesday. That'll be kind of fun. And so as far as it goes, I know one of the things I've been thinking about today a lot is the fact that there's a good chance I'll be meeting with my folks on my vacation in Portland, and I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go. So I mean, I'm curious to see if my how the interaction's gonna go. So like when I was younger, one of the bigger things that I remember talking to my mother about, and this is one of the few things that stands out between me and my mother. Like I said, I was a mama's boy, definitely, which is ironic given the abuse I went through. But and I laugh at that because of the fact that I've gone through therapy, I've worked on it, I've kind of moved on at this point, as I've talked about in previous videos. I've not accepted what they did as okay, like not in the slightest, but like I've moved past it because there's no reason for me to dwell on it anymore. I've gotten to that point. I have other shit to dwell on, really. That's the main thing. Like if I want to be depressed, I've got better things to be depressed about at this point. That's kind of my mentality about how I deal with it. And it's not like I haven't fully, like I said, I didn't accept it as okay, and I forgave them for the shit. They didn't really apologize. My mother just said thank you. From what I remember, my stepfather apologized, which was shocking. But I remember growing up, one of the things my mother used to be really big on talking about was when she worked her job. She worked, so she never got her degree, a college degree. She did get a high school diploma, but she didn't graduate at the same time as her class. The whole thing is like she went to college and finished the courses and then got her diploma that way. It wasn't a GED. It was an actual high school diploma. Just a special program the state was running at the time. I don't know if they still are. Anyways, so yeah, one of the things she would always tell me when I was younger was how she chose uh, her job or her family over her job. She never wanted to move on to the position above her because her idea was that she was going to have to go to these meetings with clients, constantly work with clients, and always would be busy dealing with that and working long hours, which I always found funny because she was basically doing that job, but for her officer. She wasn't a cop, she worked in escrow. For those who don't know what escrow is, look it up. It's like housing industry, sales, all that crap. Anyways, so she would work as an assistant to her. Um, the actually the time every time it's been the head, it was always the head of the office when she was working for them, and so she would always tell me, oh, I didn't take the job even though it pays like $20 more an hour. Because I believe it, I want to be around my family, and I always laughed at that because, like, first off, my mother hates her parents. Um, my mother looks at her parents the same way I look at mine. The difference is her parents. The only abuse she got was she got beaten. She did get like smacked a few times by her father because her father basically, if B's weren't good enough, you had to have A's. She always had to be a top performer, always working her ass off, which led her to rebel like no other, and she ended up going to or getting pregnant with me, and she ended up uh, dropping out. I don't know if technically it was a drop, but she didn't graduate on time, and she got stuck with a deadbeat twice. And married one of them, um, and she basically said, she's like, oh well, you saved my life and all this because when I was born, my mother was diagnosed with, I think it was like something. It was a cancer of some sort of the ovary. I think it was ovary cancer. So they had to do a bunch of work for her and remove all that crap. Anyways, so my mother used to talk about, oh, I was so skinny and because of you, it saved my life. And she always told me, oh, I choose my family, which I found funny because she didn't spend much time with me. Um, our dinners were not worth it. Like, my stepfather said he could cook, and no, he couldn't. He was a shitty chef. Honestly, I used to think he was a good chef. He never seasoned his food. He usually cooked out of a box. It was disgusting. I cook better than he does, which is saying something. If you've heard the stories about the protein noodle or the Franken noodle, the peanut butter noodle. Anyways, so my mother always used to say that she chose her family over that, which is ironic because, like I said, we only saw family every once in a while if we had to, and I know it wasn't us because she didn't, like I said, she didn't spend much time with me, and she damn near didn't like hanging out with her husband. So I found that kind of funny because here I am, I chose my career and my friend or my family. For me, my family is my great aunt and my great grandmother, and then those people I hang out with D&D. Wolf, Chaston, Troy, Maya, Cameron, all of them. Like the whole group. And those are my family. And those are the people I care about. And so I constantly work my ass off to make sure I have cash in my pocket to help if they need help. That we're always doing something, hanging out together, doing something. No one feels left out. Stuff like that. So I find it kind of ironic that she used to say, "Oh, you have to pick." No, you don't. You chose to make it a situation where you had to pick. You wanted a reason not to push yourself past your limits. And I think it's kind of funny for me because, the joke in the family always was, my grandfather was a paper bag maker, so my mother could be an escrow assistant, so I could be an accountant. And the jump from my grandfather to my mother's career is like that. She didn't need a diploma or a degree. She barely needed to do anything to really get to her position. She just had to work hard. And she's very smart, so, working hard wasn't going to be difficult for her. But then, from my mother's point to me, not even in camera now, was like, I had to get a degree. I had to work my way up the ladder. I have to continue to work my way up the ladder. I'm on my track to make six figures by end of next year, because I'm working my ass off. And you know, I went to school twice. I have an associate's and a bachelor's degree. I almost have another bachelor's degree from my first program, and that's the thing. Um, and then I jumped into a field that not only was highly competitive but highly maxed out for earnings. And the reason I put such a change in it is because my grandfather, he made minimum wage as a paperback factory worker. And my mother, she made, I think, like 26 an hour was roughly what I remember her telling me. When I started, I was making RE29. I'm making over 34 now, an hour. And that's just how it goes, she chose to make it a choice that she had to choose between family and work. I mean, and here I am, and now I know the argument's gonna be like, oh, well, you don't have kids running around, you don't have animals running around. And I'm like, well, you're right about that. I didn't let anybody knock me up. I especially didn't let a deadbeat knock me up. I'm a guy, by the way, fully through, cisgendered male. Even if that gets me some hate, I am biologically male and identify as male. He, him, pronouns, I guess. Yeah. I gotta do that because we do have a member in our group who does have different pronouns, and I fuck up all the time on that, so I like to make it clear so it wasn't sarcasm. It's like, this is, something I'm still learning. But yeah, no, she made a choice, and here I am. Even when I was in a relationship for those 10 months, same thing. Even every relationship I've had, I've never done any of that stupid shit. And I love the fact that my mother, being as smart as she was, didn't have the common sense to realize, no, it's not a choice of career or family. It's a choice of, do you wish to work your ass off to balance both, or do you wish to just focus on one and not ever achieve anything? Because, like, my mother says she chose family. Well, do you see the relationship my mother and I have? I haven't spoken to her in like 2 years. Outside of a family event, I haven't spoken to her. And that was one family event that my great-grandmother asked me to go to, which I love that woman to death, and I will do anything for her. And she asked me to go, so I went. But, besides that, like, have I ever reached out and gone to see her? I didn't actually personally choose to see my mother in like 4 years now. 3-4 years. And so that's the kind of irony to me. She chose her family, her husband and her kid. Her and her husband don't like each other, last I heard. Especially after his comment about calling her fat in front of the entire family. That was very blatantly obvious. And then me, who wants nothing to do with her. This is what you need to understand, kids. When you get into the working world, don't make it a decision, make it a grind. Choose to do, not give up anything, and just keep chasing everything. If you value it, chase it. Work hard for it. I value the family I've built. I work my ass off for them. I value my job. I work my ass off at my job. I'm very good at what I do. I'm very good at every job I pick up. And that's not me being cocky. That's just the general fact. That's why people keep offering me more money to continue to work for them. As I find a new job, I get offered more cash because they find, oh shit, this dude's like, he made this thing go, this job was a piece of cake for him. And so that's the kind of thing you need to think about. If it's worth it, you can chase it. But yeah, no, I'm not. I look forward to seeing. I doubt she's gonna schedule anything because I don't think she wants to face the fact that she was wrong. My mother was never very good at admitting when she was wrong. One of my favorite memories of her is actually what cued me up to leave them finally, or for the final time, and just completely cut ties. And it happened when I was like 23. I had been staying with them, and I remember I had started working a job. I was working minimum wage at the time, and I had offered my mother to help start paying bills at the house since I was making money, because they were short on the electric bill and such. And my mother started crying, And I was like, that's weird. Why is she crying? She had crocodile tears going on. And my stepfather's an idiot. Like, I mean, downright dumb as dirt, stupid man. He's very good at being a mechanic. He is shit, and he's very good at working with his hands. Dumb as fucking dirt at everything else. And he got pissed off because he thought I made my mother cry, even though he was sitting right there, and all I'd asked is if I could help pay the bills. And he got pissed off. He's like, stop bothering your mother. And I'm like, I'm just offering to help pay the bills. And my mother started screaming at me, saying, oh, you shouldn't have to help. You shouldn't even be bothering to ask me. You should be saving up for your own place. And I'm like, oh, okay. And my stepfather got up and got in my face and like cornered me in the kitchen, and then threatened to shoot me in the kitchen, from what I remember. I think a rough memory, though. I remember being cornered in the kitchen. I can't remember if it was a gun or a knife that he was using to threaten me. Anyways, so, and I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, just fucking drop it. And I'm like, alright. I don't feel like getting stabbed and then fucking having my body hidden because no one's out here. I mean, like, I didn't think he'd actually do it, but I was definitely not willing to test it. And that's coming from a man who has more stab wounds on him probably than you can count. As I've talked about the stories. And yeah, so I was freaked out. And I was like, so I went in my room and I called my Aunt Barb, or I decided to go for a jog after that, just to call my great aunt. And I was like, hey, can you come pick me up? I need to talk. And I told her what happened. She flipped. She was so mad. She's like, no, you're leaving. Go pack up your shit and we're leaving. My parents went on vacation. I packed up my shit and I left when they came back. And called it good. I was done. I wasn't gonna live with them anymore. And so I remember that scene specifically because I've never seen someone get so upset for me offering to help them, or offering to help pay anything. So her flipping out just was weird to me, and to this day it's still weird to me. I've never met someone else who's done that. And I know those were crocodile tears, because my mother, when she actually cries, she doesn't like crying in front of other people, because she's got that view, that male mentality of crying in front of someone shows your weakness. So if she cried in the bedroom and hid. And it was very quiet. It was always very soft sobbing. And she usually did it when no one was around. I caught her a few times. That's why I know this. And so, yeah, I thought it was interesting that she full on just started crying in front of us. And then I noticed, the one thing I remember picking up after the whole situation, and I was out going to get Barb, or I was calling up Barb, was I remember seeing her smile slightly once Richard had me cornered in the kitchen, my stepfather's name. And it freaked me, it pissed me off more than anything. I remember that I was so angry. I was like, you literally let him threaten my life because I offered to help you pay your bills because I was living here. That's the kind of parents I had. And I remember that very, very, out of all the memories where he either threatened to shoot me or anything else, I've told about the stories, that was the one that stood out to me the most, because that one to this day is like, how can you be, I don't know how he was that stupid, but how can you be that fucked up to your own son that you claim saved your life? So I'm very curious to see if my mother is going to choose, because she knows full well I'm going to bring that shit up. Like, I got no fucking, because this time if my stepfather pulls a gun on me this time, he better fucking make sure he kills me, because this time if he fucking does it, I'm not stepping down. I'm much stronger than I was. I'm in much better shape. I don't care how fucking old he is. If he pulls a gun on me this time, I'm going to make sure he is in the ground, he is beaten down and taken to prison. I ain't fucking with that anymore. Because every day since I got out of that house, I have dreamed about the fact that because I remember he'd always say, oh, I could shoot you and the cops would never know. I have always dreamed about making sure he goes to prison. And I still do. Like, I still hate this man. I forgave the situation. I still outright hate this man. And that takes a lot. There are very few people I hate. And there's a lot of people I don't respect, but there's very few people I outright just hate and will not deal with. and he's one of them. He's one of four people in my entire life that I've ever had that. So I'm very curious. I know my grandfather's not going to meet with me anytime soon as well, because similar things. After that situation happened, after all the situations happened, and I went to tell him about it, because me and my grandfather used to be real close, and I would look up to him, think he'd protect me. And I remember on one of our walks, I was talking to him, and he's like, first off, he started preaching Christian stuff, which I got no problem with you preaching the Bible if that's your religion. But the man picked it up only because he got old and started dying and started realizing he was gonna be dying here soon, and he didn't want to he wanted to hedge his bets, which I think is bullshit. I ain't gonna be calling up Jesus or yelling out, oh, Jesus will save us when I get old, because fuck it, he ain't saving my ass. I haven't been good to him, he ain't gonna be good to me. I mean, I'll be lucky if I get put into fucking Valhalla when I die, because I ain't a devout religious man. Devout, my bad. But yeah, 100%. I remember that, and I know he won't talk to me because he told me outright during one of our walks. He's like, anything you say about your stepfather isn't gonna change my opinion. And I remember telling him everything. He's like, oh man, that was my biggest regret, that I didn't do anything. And I'm like, motherfucker, no, it isn't. You're just saying that now, because now you feel bad because you realize how fucked up it was. Fuck you, no. You ain't getting away with this shit. I have, like I said, I moved past it. Like, I don't, that's not something like, oh, I want to ruin their lives or anything like that. I don't care anymore. Like, I got my own shit going on. But I will never forget those days, those last couple of weeks I saw of dealing with my family, my extended family, and remembering what my mother used to say, how she chose her family. Oh, it's amazing to this day. But yeah, so that's the vlog for today. A little bit of an info dump on my life. I am going to go to my work meeting and then hopefully get some coffee in me, and then hopefully we can do some recording today. Hoping to finish either Stellaris today or do a couple, well, I don't need more Minecraft episodes, I know that. So I'll either finish Stellaris or start working on the Tales of Alfred from Divinity Original Sin today. So, I got some dishes to do though. I gotta clean my kitchen or my bathroom this weekend. I'm gonna clean my kitchen again this weekend. I'm cleaning my kitchen here at 8 o'clock to be fair, but yeah. Thank you all for watching this. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'm gonna go to my work meeting. See you tomorrow.